Happy time zone, everybody. Welcome back to the September Showdown, hosted by the Pandicorn Gaming channel, sponsored by Team GOGO and EKSA to get some headsets for the winners today. Draku, Spartan, Tano on the cast. We also got Desk. We also got Ribbon on the desk here behind us as well, as we'll be hearing from them later on during the show today. But Tano, I have a question for you. Do you remember the 21st of September?
I remember it being a song.
It is a song. I don't know if you're super into Earth, Wind, and Fire. It might be a little past my generation, but I looked at the date today. I was like, "Hey, look, it's the 21st of September." I'm pretty sure that's a song from somewhere.
Is that the one that goes, "Do you remember?"
The 21st night of September.
September. There we
Yeah,
go.
that's the one. That is the one. I think it is nighttime for you over there, right? So it is definitely nighttime for Spartantano.
It is, buddy. It is 8 p.m. We're just about to hit 8 p.m. and my neighbors aren't going to like me, but we are going to be shouting this Pokemon Unite game.
And we got a pretty high velocity game coming up for you guys in our round number 2. If you want to see where the bracket is lining up for today's event, exclamation point bracket once again, to see all the teams today and how the teams are performing. But in that last set, I think Blacklisted cooking a little bit too much. EXP share Mew, really solid, in the right team compositions. EXP share Urshifu, maybe not so much.
I also especially like the fact that they tried to give Smiley Face a false sense of security with the Mimikyu crashing their game at the beginning. It was a good show.
Yeah.
It didn't play out for them, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, this next game, though, I am super stoked to see these players perform. I think during the offseason, they have been performing quite well, especially in Underdunk. I believe this team did win Underdunk a couple of days ago. This is 2 Peruvians and a Dream. This is the team I was talking about the earlier part of the broadcast. This is part of You Feel Me, rounded out with Any Sus, world's qualifying team from Latam North, and Taku and Neon. I believe they were from Exile. I could be wrong on that one, but a really well-rounded team and not super familiar with their opponents, Micro and Cheese, but love the name.
I also love the name. I
Love
love
the
it
name.
when we have random names like that. It's so funny. I was casting a team over on the Engage Weekly. It's called Dequavius Pork.
Oh.
That has been my favorite name yet.
Yeah, but what to expect here, at least for 2 Peruvians and a Dream. Again, I don't know a whole lot of Micro and Cheese, but maybe some very micro-oriented characters, maybe some Dodrio, maybe some Zoroark, who knows. But 2 Peruvians and a Dream, Ducky, Burzy, Hyo, lots of experience playing with each other. They were a top 16 team, making it to the group stage of NAIC this last UCS season. Ducky really known for his Trevenant play. Burzy, a very, very, very talented Mew player. And Hyo, Birdbane, definitely a player near and dear to my heart because I play a lot of Decidueye, and now Hyo plays a lot of Decidueye and other bird type characters as well.
And I mean, we've been talking about the Cramorant, right, Draku? We're probably going to see it. So, what more do you want out of a bird? I know it doesn't have quite the spirit shackles, but boy, does it have the damage.
Yeah, Cramorant, I feel like, was such a pivotal character in the win of Smiley Face in that last game. It does really well, again, in bulkier compositions. You got to focus on everything around the Cramorant, even just to get to the bird. Even if it is standing still, it does more damage the more damage you do to it, because the way that it works with that gulp abilities, the Pikachu comes out at less than 50% HP, and it does more damage, and it also applies a stun as well. So trying to get to the Cramorant is difficult, but also getting away from the Cramorant is also difficult.
Exactly. And what is difficult is picking some strong defenders when you have so many of them banned. I suspect we're going to see probably a Mamo, maybe a Tree, or even a Crustle here. But what is not surprising is these 2 all-rounders and that Pikachu getting locked in straight away.
Armarouge unfortunately not making it onto Thea Sky Ruin. Same thing for Ho-Oh, probably one of the best defenders in the game, if not the best defender in the game. Maybe not so much for crowd control, but for sustain, and of course that Mercy Resurrection, such a powerful tool in any team you apply it to.
Yeah, it really can change a team fight. And I tell you what is a very strong one is that Miraidon, especially if they go for the charge beam. If you have a tanky team you're up against, it can be so good at ripping those down. So it's going to be interesting to see what moveset they go for here, Draku, seeing what Macro and Cheese lock in.
The restricteds are coming out to play. Restricteds as in those box legendaries, Miraidon and Zacian, being locked in on the side of Micro and Cheese. And Zacian, I'm sure a lot of us has had some nightmares with Zacian Comfy or Zacian and Blissey, a very strong team comp here from Micro and Cheese. Very scary, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I called it, buddy. You're going to have a Trevenant, you're going to have a Mamoswine, and I am excited to see how this Mamoswine is going to handle the dive coming in from that Cerulege, and I suspect any sus there on that Shifu. Is it going to be Red Bear? Is it going to be Water Bear? They do need a secure, so Red Bear might be the better option here.
Yeah, I think it has to be a red Urshifu here. When you're looking at Micro and Cheese, they got a lot of crowd control. Every single member of their team has some sort of slow, stun, hindrance, and that Mamoswine is very difficult to go up against, especially when you have two all-rounders on your team. It's not a character you want to find in the tall grass.
No, it really is not. But I do like both of these comps coming out from both of these teams. This is going to be an exciting one. We have the double all-rounder yet again. We have a strong tank on both teams, and we have some range. Miraidon outranging the Pikachu, but of course, we know how broken Pikachu can be. So I think they're still very strong coming into this game.
Yeah, it's going to be a more supportive-oriented Pikachu. I think Pikachu is one of those attackers that can flex into either the traditional mage attacker with the Thunderbolt, but can also be a more supportive type character with Volt Tackle, Electro Ball. Has really good hindrance with Volt Tackle, slow from Electro Ball, secure with Electro Ball, and of course that Unite move, oh so devastating, and it just got better.
Oh yeah, and we see a Kung Fu going up into the top lane alongside the Hooper. Is the Hooper going for an Invader? Are they going to hang around for the red buff? They're going straight into the Invader. I love seeing this. We also see the Phantom heading on over, having a good handshake with the Swin Up. They've decided they want to go stop that because they know Hooper is still going to continue to push on in. That red buff doesn't go their way though, but Swin Up is here. They have the mighty laning capability. Are they going to be able to get some experience? Either way though, they are going to be wasting a lot of time from two Peruvians in a dream.
Yeah, Tim Impala in the top path with that Zacian. We know Zacian to be a demon in the top path. And Enysa's going to be going up against the Zacian. Still a Kung Fu. Doesn't have very good last hitting with that. I forget the name of the ability in the earlier parts of the game, but Slash, such a good early game secure, but it also has some slow when it's enhanced as well.
Yeah, and the difficulty is you need that Kung Fu to get their evolution. I think we're going to have that 9 spawn, but nobody is here for these birds yet. We do see Cerulege, and here comes the Zacian as well. They need to secure something to get the Evo, and they haven't managed to do it yet. Micro and Cheese locking in the majority of that one, because that's going to be quite difficult coming into this.
Yeah, Miraidon's going to be locking in that charge beam. It's such a bully type ability, especially when you get that enhanced version of it after hitting 2 of the smaller charge beams. And Trevenant, going to be taking a look here in the central area. That is Ducky on their ace character. Of course, when you see Ducky on that Trevenant, we know how impactful this character can be. We've seen Joey from Luminosity Gaming do so well with it. We've seen Pure from Exile do so well with it. And Ducky turning out to be one of those Trevenant players to watch out for in North America.
Yeah, very true. We do see the Red Bear pulled out there for the Shifu. What we both expected to see. These mid-birds are about to spawn. Swinub is rotating there. We see the Charmeleon on the backup, but of course the Cerulege has the damage at being at level 7 already. And with the assistance of the Miraidon and the Trevenant, they're going to lock down not 1, not 2, but they take down the Charizard as well.
Yeah, I mean, 2 Peruvians in a dream looking really strong in this early game, but one thing you never have to never should underestimate is the power of the Charizard Unite move. And once that character gets to level 9, it's when this game really starts to unfold.
Yeah, they're feeling comfortable there at the moment. We've got 30 seconds away from the first objective, chat. Of course, level 8 on that Cerulege, and they can lock in a 9. That is a huge KO. If they get these birds, they are going to get 9. They will have their Unite move for these first objectives, and that is going to be really aggressive for 2 Peruvians in a dream.
Yeah, they have pretty decent rip on objectives with the Cerulege right next to an Urshifu. It's going to be really hard to out-secure. I mean, if you're looking at secures from these two teams, of course, you never should underestimate that Wicked Blow from the Urshifu. Not a whole lot of securing option for Micro and Cheese, respectively, but you gotta never forget the Blissey secure as they're able to get the confirmation on the Regieleki, now sending this to the Tier 1 goal zone.
What more could you want than Blissey saying, alright, bet, I'm locking this one in, and they get the support secure. We're going to see Micro and Cheese backing up to their goal here. This Lecky is just going to cause a nuisance for two Peruvians in the Dream, but they're going to lock that in feeling really comfortable. Pillar is currently the only one down in that bottom lane. There's the rotation. It just shows how important Hooper can be in these games.
That is a perfect example of commentator's curse, by the way, in the audience. If you've ever heard of that one before, you know, one of the commentators saying Micro and Cheese has a pretty dismal secure. Blissey, Egg Bomb, let's get it.
The best secure in the game. We're going to take the title of God of Secure away from Blaziken, and we're throwing it on that Blissey for this set. Let's see if they can get any more, buddy. But they want to push on to this goal to two Peruvians in the Dream. A really good Horn Leech to secure that 28 going in. But here's the Charizard. They have their Unite move, and they're going to Seismic Slam that Cerulean back to the Pokemon Center. They want to drop the damage onto the Trevenant, but of course, it's a tree as old as time. It has a mighty health pool.
Yeah, the game is really starting to unfold now, Tano. Again, with that Unite move from the Charizard, it is a Unite move machine. And if you take a look at two Peruvians in the Dream, there's not a whole lot of squishier characters, but if you're able to at least land it on the Miraidon or the Cerulege, those are two of the squishier parts of the cast for two Peruvians in the Dream.
Oh, the Zarsha nearly getting taken out there. A good pickup for the Horn Leech, but they do manage to back to their goal. We have 20 seconds on this Lecky in the top lane, Draco, and they're going to rotate on up there at Micro and Cheese. We just have a bit of a bottom lane battle off. Hooper is going to take the opportunity to go on home, and we see a Shifu coming in for what could be a good flank here.
Yeah, lots of representatives for Micro and Cheese to defend this top path goal zone, but that Pikachu is going to be punched in the throat with that Wicked Blow. I think there's a Unite move deep into the Speed Flux zone on the Zacian, not able to get the knockout there, but they are going to break down this goal zone. They're going to retreat back for this Regieleki, and should be an easy secure for their team.
It seems like two Peruvians in a Dream at the moment are really taking domination into this game. They're really getting themselves comfortable in a lead. They've locked in that objective. It seems like they want to push towards this goal as well. They want to take the opportunity. They don't quite have the vision yet, or at least find out who is around. Are we going to get a push into this? We do see the Thunder coming down from the Miraidon, but no, of course, we have that Hooper in the bottom lane. Rings Unbound comes out. They are prepared for this Registeel to spawn, and what a buff that is. But look at the rotation to the top lane from the Hooper as well, just to defend that goal when they know this was going down.
What an interesting play by this Hoopa player, by the way. They put the hyperspace hole on the tier 1 goal zone, put the Unite move off to transport up to the top path for this defense, but here comes that Charizard Unite move once again, bringing down Hellfire onto the field. Revenant Red, unfortunately, is going to swing and miss here in the top path. They are going to defend this goal zone, but not after losing a couple of characters.
Yeah, they're only on 4 points at the moment over on Micro and Cheese. Their points are Micro at the moment. They don't have that many, unfortunately, buddy, but they have got some good levels. Charizard being a level 12, actually a level 11, but what a Volt Tackle that is. It's not going to be enough, though. Shifu passing the love along with that Hollow Spray.
Yeah, really good usage of the Wicked Blow there to get rid of that Volt Tackle stun. That's a really interesting interaction there, as Wicked Blow is an unstoppable ability when you're charging that up. So kind of a play, or definitely some micro advantage there for the Urshifu player if they're able to time that Wicked Blow perfectly.
We have 25 seconds away from this Lecky spawn in top, of course. Micro might decide that they want to show for it. They are currently on the back foot, but I do like a decision to at least push more towards the bottom goal. We do have the Trevenant here. Two Peruvians in a Dream are prepared for them to push that goal rather than the objective. But look how well they are set up at the moment, Draku. They are prepared for any direction that they see Micro and Cheese coming in.
We got about 30 seconds here. Let's go ahead and call in Ribbon, our desk analyst, for some analysis for this endgame team fight. Win conditions, let's talk about it real quick, Ribbon, before it starts.
Absolutely. We need to get a Charizard Unite on this Ceruledge. The Ceruledge has been doing an absolute monstrous job carrying, but we're getting a flip here started, Drake. We gotta go fast.
Yeah, possibly. It's 15 seconds on this Rayquaza, and I think the final stretch is starting rather soon here. And they need quite a lot of points to get into this game. Let's see what they're able to do here, Tano.
3 seconds away, it's just about to spawn. We've got some good presence here from both teams, and it seems like we're going to have a rip from the get-go. Every single Unite move that you can see popping. There's the Revenant Ren, who's going to get the lock-in. That was the fastest rip I've seen in a long time. It's Nano Swine out of everybody on those teams. It is the big mammoth themselves. We're going to get Hundo Burgers raining in, and they may be able to win this, but Cerulege is going to get their own burger in over on that Team 2 goal.
Yeah, and the Mammoth Line wasn't able to score on that tier 2 goal zone, unfortunately going down as well. So they are definitely down by a significant amount of points here. A minute and a half left. They have one shield on this Charizard, but I don't think they have many other characters with a Rayquaza shield. We'll see two characters up here. Looks like the Mamoswine is still on a cooldown timer. We don't know if the Pikachu has a shield remaining, but it's going to take a lot for them to get into this game. They need to pivot through this bottom path in order to get those scores off, but it's only 29 points in double time. It's not going to be enough to get them in this game.
No, they really need to make a full push, but of course you see Hooper up in that top lane, ready to portal their way down with the Cerulege there as well. We need a decision coming out from Macro here. They don't quite have one yet. I think they're going to push this top lane while they've got somebody going there towards bottom. Pikachu does get annihilated. They now know where the rest of them are, but there we go. We're going to get some damage popping down. There's a Revenant Ren. They're not able to do anything with any KOs just yet, though, Draco, but we see the 31 going in from the Blissey, but they just need some more backcapping to happen. I don't think they're going to be able to do much here.
Yeah, there's only 30 seconds left here, and it looks like Enisas is there very healthy. Of course, with that Unseen Fist ability, they are able to stop any sort of scores here on this tier 2 goals. And I think that Charizard went into its Unite move while it still had the shield, and much would have rather it use their shield to score and then go into that Unite move.
Oh, wow. I mean, imagine being able to lock in the Rayquaza and just not do enough to be able to get yourself the win. That is so tough, Draco. Of course, we know how powerful that objective is, and it is a shame, but well played with the defense over on the side of two Peruvians in the dream there.
Yeah, I mean, Micro and Cheese, it did go for the flip. I don't think they had very good secure. Of course, you have an Urshifu on the field, so it's very, very risky. But given the situation that they were in, I don't know if they could even take a full-on 5v5 team fight. So really gambling on that Rayquaza to be your win condition is always something you can try to play towards, but of course, did not play to their advantage, losing so many shields. Even if you do get that Rayquaza buff, you get the damage increase, but if you're not able to KO the enemy team, at least significantly, you're not able to get those scores off. You couldn't even get the Mamoswine to score on that tier 2 as well.
Yeah, and I think it comes down to how low on scores they were coming into that there, Draco. Of course, they had a pretty sizable lead, the two Peruvians in the dream. Of course, it is only 200 points or so, so when you have a T1 goal up and you have a Rayquaza, you know, it is a good opportunity to get those in, but when you do have people on your side that can get those rips, so having a look at the scores here, look, chat, they had 4 up until that 8-minute mark, so it is difficult when there is that much of a lead and you have Mons on that team that can do fantastic rips. Rulage is there, we've got true damage as well on the Shifu. Just too much for them.
Yeah, their team is named Micro and Cheese, but I feel like in terms of Micro, two Peruvians in a dream definitely showed more micro prowess across their 5 team members. I mean, looking at the team compositions between these two teams, I definitely thought that Micro and Cheese definitely cheesed a really strong draft on their side of the field. But, you know, Zacian, character we have not seen for almost a year. I think the last time we saw Zacian in a UCS type format was Worlds last year or 2 years ago, I guess now in 2023. But what is your opinion on Zacian right now? It's been nerfed quite significantly than we saw in UCS 2023. It hasn't been played for a year, only in maybe some grassroots events, but now we're seeing Zacian joining the fray in the metagame, dominated by such a diverse all-rounder pool. What are your thoughts on this character?
Well, that's it, isn't it? I feel like the Zacian at the moment is in a good position within that all-rounder pool that's already in the meta. So people are feeling quite confident to pick it up now that they are allowed. Honestly, but we see it so much in the EU region. It is the one EX mon that is always played in the EU region. And I think because it can be played in that top path quite successfully with some more ones that can be paired with it.
Yeah. Again, Zacian is kind of a, I wouldn't say a difficult character to play, but with so much crowd control, it runs into some of the other issues that characters that are more auto attack oriented based, that I feel like Zacian is right now. It really struggles to stay in the pocket of teams that have a lot of crowd control on the other team. And when you think of the current economy of crowd control, everyone has a dollar in their pocket, right? There's so much crowd control in this game. It's so difficult to stay in a pocket of pressure for even a second time.
If only we had a held item that wasn't nerfed into the ground, hey? But anyway, moving on from that, we do have Amarouge getting banned from the get-go. I don't think we're going to see this mon played at all today, Draco. I know that the Fire Spin is really good. Armor Cannon has some fantastic AoE, so I think it's going to be a consistent ban until we get a slight bit of nerfs on it.
Yeah, Armorage, it's a really strong pick, especially in coordinated play. We know some of the flavors that this character can run. It has the more artillery type build, mage type build with that armor cannon and Psyshock, but it can run Venusaur, a Venusaur type pedal dance build with fire spins. Very difficult characters to go down. Might not be able to see it today, but still a very strong character nonetheless. Pikachu going to be the first pick attacker for Micro and Cheese. They're going to be returning back to that supportive type Pikachu once again. Really just going for a conservative start here for Micro and Cheese.
Yeah, completely understandable. And of course, they have banned that Hooper. They recognize the maneuverability that provides. They don't want to give two Peruvians in a dream that accessibility. So, huge shout. They've got themselves a good call from the get-go. Zacian and Ceruledge paired with a Mamoswine is nasty though, buddy. I'd be scared if I was on that other side at the moment.
Yeah, let's go ahead and add in an Aegislash in there as well. A team of swords, a team of 4 swords on the side of 2 Peruvians and a dream. But we'll see with their last 2 picks here. But any sus on this Zacian, I think this is one of the players that really, you would be very scared to see any sus on Zacian running into them on ladder. I'll just say that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we're going to need a bit more frontline over on Macro and Cheese side. I mean, we do have that Trevenant, and to be fair, Blissey can tank quite a bit of damage for a little pink blob. Are we going to see them pick up something that can at least sustain themselves a bit more? Will we see someone going for a dive? I think when you see 3 all-rounders, I'm not sure about that one, buddy. I feel like that's going to be a tough one.
Oh man, I'm gonna do my best to theory craft this Zero Aura pick, but I have that same exact impression as a 10th pick gutter pick into basically 4 all-rounders, right? I mean, we can say Mamoswine is a defender, but it can also function as a high CC all-rounder type character. It is also round, by the way, so all-rounder Mamoswine, you know. But going back to this Zero Aura, if there's one thing I can give to this Zero Aura, is that it has a built-in weakness policy. Anytime it takes physical type damage, its passive ability, I think it's Volts Absorb, it basically boosts its physical attack damage for a period of time. But that is also questioning if it can stay alive long enough to even damage the enemy team with those boosted attacks, you know? So that's like my justification as why Zero Aura comes out here. Maybe it's just a comfort pick, but it's hard to say. It really is.
I mean, I think you've done an impressive job of trying to shine some positivity into that pick there, buddy. To be honest, I don't know. I mean, if you go for maybe the wild charge, I know people do the whole discharge move set, and you know it can work because you can get in and out. But at least in wild charge, you're gonna have the opportunity to dodge some of that CC coming your way. I mean, obviously we're commenting on it, but they must have a plan in hand. These players are all very good players. They must have some sort of plan that they've developed for this one.
Well, you know, they are named Micro and Cheese. There's one thing that Zero Aura does require a lot of. It's a lot of micro prowess and knowledge of this character. Something that we don't see very often is the discharge pull with Volt Switch. So if we're able to see that, then maybe it'll be kind of cool. But again, just try to be positive.
I mean, it also requires a lot of cheese, so I think it's probably on the right team at the moment. It takes a lot of baby milk to get itself going, but we see the Swinub going straight into this jungle. They've stolen the blue buff away from the Miraidon. They have to use the Ninja doll, but I don't think that's going to be able to save them. Yeah, they take them down. EXMon no longer.
The Ducky locomotive moving on forward. The Ducky, I was gonna make some joke about a Roomba, but I totally butchered that one. Sorry, Tana, go ahead, take it away.
Well, we have a dog ready to prepare to pounce on anyone coming into this top goal. We have only the 8 points in at the moment, so not too many stacks coming their way. Zero Aura has made their way to the top lane. Miraidon has finally showed up. The 850s have spawned. This Swinub has been an absolute nuisance for anyone there, but look at that lock-in. The Ceruledge and the Sacred Sword are going to do just that, and I tell you what, Miraidon is not going to have fun against those in that top lane.
Yeah, one interaction that we are going to take a look at is that Sacred Sword into the Zero Aura specifically. Maybe Zacian is going to wait for that Zero Aura to jump in to use that Sacred Sword. The Sacred Sword does have stun built into it, so very scary ability to jump into with that Volt Switch.
Feeling pretty strong. Two Peruvians in the dream at the moment. That is the capability that a good invade gives you. There's the Electro Web onto the Ceruledge, but of course they're going to be able to get themselves out, and they're struggling now. They still have a Phantom. We're about to hit the mid-birds, and they haven't got the evolutions that they need on their team.
Yeah, this early game really going over to two Peruvians in a dream. They have really strong early game pressure from the Zacian and this Pillow Swine, and the Swine up earlier on, getting that KO on the Miraidon. But character that we haven't talked about yet that feels like we should always be talking about is this character moving down to the bottom path with those two auras from the buffs on the left side of the map. Percy with this Charizard do have a really poor early game, and so Micro and Cheese is really not trying to lean into that early game disadvantage for two Peruvians in a dream, and they are going to struggle in this late game as soon as that character gets online.
Yeah, I mean, we're about to hit 224. Oh, what a massive KO there, buddy. We still have the chance. They've not managed to get themselves evolved into Blizzard. And as I say that, they do that very thing. But that is tough when we're just about to have these objective spawns. Look at that Ice Fang working an absolute treat. Back to the Pokemon Center for you, Pikachu. You can get some assistance while we see two Peruvians in a dream getting ready for a rip on that bomb.
Yeah, we can still see a Phantom on the bottom right corner of your screen. You can also see in the bottom right corner of the mini-map over there on the left, really struggling to get its roots planted. It's not able to get any sort of farm, not even a Baltoy for itself. Charizard's going to start working on that bottom southern Reggie. Three members of two Peruvians in a dream here in the top path to make their presence known to prevent Micro and Cheese from taking this Alecki off the field.
Yeah, good luck in there. I tell you what, though, that I do like the Electro Drift picked up by the Miraidon. It does a lot of damage. There's a Revenant Rend in return, though. They do pick up a lot of damage on the Blissey. They're not going to survive that. Pink Blood down. And we do see that Zero Aura managing to get themselves into that Flux Zone to go and get some healing. We still have a Phantom, Draku.
In the chat, do we have an over-under when this Phantom becomes a Trevenant?
At least let's get some effing chats for the poor Phantom. They are trying so hard. They need a scrap of XP. Please, sir, can I have some more? And they leap up to level 6 straight away.
Yeah, that's one thing that they're really lacking on their side of the field, right? Any sort of crowd control. Of course, you have the Pikachu, but without that Trevenant not throwing those wood hammers, it really struggles to crowd control the Zacian, who's already well on their way to level 11. Their first plus ability about to be unlocked.
Yeah, I mean, Ceruledge is already there. Level 10 on the Charizard. It's going to be tough. They need to get a good set of KOs here. We do see the discharge coming in. They do take down that Ceruledge. That's a tasty bit of XP. Miraidon hitting that. What a Sacred Sword as well, though, buddy. Pikachu has been yeeted out of here. We see Miraidon trying to pop some damage, but wow, okay. What an engage coming in from Micro and Cheese. That is feeling better, but two Peruvian and a Dream are always there to answer at the moment.
Got to be very careful walking into any sort of tall grass corridor whenever there is a Zacian on the field. It almost acts as an assassin type character with those abilities. Sacred Sword, again, doesn't provide any mobility, but don't got to worry about that if they walk into your radius of influence.
It is a worry at the moment for Micro and Cheese. It is kind of reflecting how the previous game went. Two Peruvian and the Dream are feeling very comfortable at this halfway mark, buddy. They have 242 points ahead of them. They know how strong they felt at the Rayquaza, so they just need to make sure they don't make the mistakes they did in the previous game. We have both objectives spawning. Charizard's going to go for a rip. We've got Mamoswine doing some zoning here on the Trevenant. That's going to go all the way over to two Peruvian in the Dream. We have a battle coming out in this top lane, though.
Yeah, we do indeed. Charizard's going to start working on that bottom Reggie. Zacian going to get a scrambled egg breakfast in the morning as the Blissey does go down. Rhydon is going to get a KO on the Eldegoss. Pikachu walking forward as well. Can they get some scores in? 26 points here on this top tier 1 goal zone. Zacian and the Saraledge going down, so good amount of experience going over to Micro and Cheese, and they also got a Reggie Alecki as their prize as well.
Eldegoss wants to change that outcome. They go on in with their Unite move. Are they going to lock it in? Now it's from the Rhydon. But oh my god, was that close. A fantastic effort from Eldegoss, but at least Micro and Cheese are now coming out of this. They've got themselves 91 points on that scoreboard.
Well, they have a couple of interesting options here for Micro and Cheese, and I think they're going to go with the most conservative one and head over to their side of the field, take any sort of yellow dots on the map. And if you take a look at the levels right now, it's very diverse on the side of Micro and Cheese. There is one level 13, but really struggling again on that Zero Aura like we were talking about before. Only level 10 on that Speedster type character. They're going to be really struggling in this end game. Last time to use these Unite moves, again, that Unite move from the Pikachu really low on the cooldown time, so should be able to get that back in. They're able to get some farm off the field, but they're going to continue this pressure here on the tier 1 goals on Unite move coming out of the Miraidon. They're not going to use all of those meteors, so I don't think they are going to be starting out at 0 with 1 minute remaining. But as these teams start to disengage here, we've got about 40 seconds. Let's go ahead and pull in ribbon. Micro and Cheese, they are really struggling in this game as they did in game number 1. Like I asked you in set number 1, what is something that you're going to be looking for them to win this game?
This Zacian is absolutely out of control, Draku. They need to get locked down on this character ASAP, but they also need to be careful about this Mamoswine because Ducky has found so many high-value Ice Fangs.
Yeah, Ice Fang is such a bully type ability, especially if you're able to lock it in on a Zera Aura or maybe even the Miraidon that's zipping on by. But final stretch here, Tano, take it away.
We have the plus move over there on the Pikachu. We've got Miraidon at 14. Where's the engage? We're just waiting for it. Eldegoss going in there. There's the Mamoswine slam. There's the Icicle Crash. Pikachu doesn't even get their Unite move off because they are yeeted back to that Pokemon Center. The Bliss Assistance with the Sheninja Doll to try and save the Miraidon, but they get taken down by the Doggo, and the Miraidon is having to use their drifts just to get themselves out of there. I don't think they're going to be able to, though. That Mamoswine is locking that down. So the Zera Aura is going to try and discharge on in here, and they do lock it in, Draku, against the Zacian Sacred Sword. Are they going to be able to score, though? That's one shield down. Charizard having to get taken out themselves. 2 KO. It's just the shield on the Trevenant at the moment, I believe.
Yeah, the Rhydon also has a shield as well. They're going to use that Electro Drift to get over to their side of the field. They only have 48 points, though. Is this going to give them the lead? It is not, but they do have 2 shields to work with and a full bottom path to work through.
Yeah, they need to get people on that T1 to defend, but they also need people ready on that home base. It's all going to come down to what they can do with those shields, but even so, look how close the game is, buddy. If they all push one pad and we get one person getting something like 10 points in, that is going to be a win for Micro and Cheese. So I don't think two Peruvians and the Dreamer just want to stay on the defense. I don't think they realize how close this game is.
It is so close, and I feel like two Peruvians and a Dream, they probably think they are behind in this situation here. Oh, there's that pull from the Zera Aura, but unfortunately that pull not very good to pull a Charizard towards you, and as time starts to tick away, more Unite moves are available for two Peruvians and the Dream, and I think Micro and Cheese is going to gamble on them being ahead here. Blissey and Trevenant are going to be the only one here on this Tier 1 goal zone. With that score from the Zacian, it is going to expand their lead, but it doesn't even matter as they get a full team wipe here for game number 2.
Ooh, baby! baby, do we have a dream, a 2-0 win for two Peruvians and a dream. And I tell you what, buddy, it is crazy how this game was very much a repeat of the first one. Two Peruvians and a dream being so confident, feeling so strong in that game, but then losing the Rayquaza to Micro and Cheese, but then not able to do enough after grabbing that important objective.
Yeah, I mean, they got 2 objective secures on the Rayquaza, and, you know, you don't have a... It's not really a score comp-oriented team for two Peruvians in a dream, but one thing to prevent Rayquaza for being such a polarizing objective is just winning so strongly in the first 8 minutes of the game, and this battle report really shows that, right? They had such a significant lead even at the halfway point in the game, having over 240 point lead already.
Yeah, it makes you feel so confident coming into that final fight. You know that you don't need to rip it, you don't need to do much but defend that objective and your goal pads. And it works for them. They had a fantastic team fight, to be fair to them, and they went for the rip feeling confident that they wasn't going to have a repeat of game one. Micro and Cheese with a massive secures. Their aura really working that discharge there, but it's so difficult when your shields can get ripped so easily if you are that far behind and you can only score so many points. We don't see it that often, buddy, but we've just seen it twice in a row.
Yeah, whenever you set up that win condition for just having such a significant lead in that end game, not only do you have your 5 team members against the enemy team, but you also have the advantage of time being on your side as well. All you have to do is sit around the Rayquaza, insulate that objective, make sure the enemy team make it as difficult as possible for them to get that last objective, and then also to cash in that prize after getting the Rayquaza. Those 2 things are very difficult to do, especially with as coordinated a team as two Peruvians in a dream was. That dream unfortunately became a nightmare for Micro and Cheese.
They feel really strong, though, two Peruvians in the dream. I'm kind of putting my money on them to win the entire thing, buddy, but we'll see. The fantastic battle coming from both, but wow, we've got some more action for you coming up, though, chat, so do bear with us. Grab yourself a drink, grab yourself a snack, head to the toilet, but do not miss these next games. We'll be with you very shortly.